Back to After Dark. I'm Nic Pegg, and joining me on the line we have Lisa Tregenza, and she's going to talk to us this evening about the conscious movement to inner peace. That sounds like a really lovely subject to talk about. Lisa, good evening to you.
Good evening. Thank you for having me here.
That's great. You're a practitioner, I believe, and you're based out in Sumner.
Yes.
So, what do you do with your clients? I guess they are clients. Yes.
Yes, absolutely. So, given that I'm a trained yoga teacher and I have a background in business as well, which is in music, and also a very strong interest with meditation and mindset through the yoga practice as well. I in group with yoga classes and also one-on-one with clients and online. So very much about uh, empowering others to connect in with their own physical space and their heart, their soul. So yeah, quite a, a broad spectrum, if you like, but it all connects.
Lisa, do you find you're teaching this and doing this practice with your pupils and your clients all the time? Do you find that it has
Mm-hmm.
a positive benefit on you and your life and the way you lead yourself?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. As much as I connect in with the yogic lifestyle, if you like, it's very easy to get busy, as we all do, and so by having such wonderful clients and people that I connect in with, and one on one or through the online program. Having that accountability, if you like, to my clients and showing up for them as well as myself, it certainly does mean that I live and breathe what I talk about.
So, what is conscious movement, and why is it important?
Yes, absolutely. So when I think of conscious movement, of connecting with our body in a conscious way. So by that I mean awareness. It's we're thinking about how we're moving. So often during our day, or even sometimes even when we're exercising, we might be just simply going through the motions. So we could be at work and we're not conscious of our posture. We can be standing in line, waiting, and we're not thinking about our posture or how we're holding ourselves. So when I think of conscious movements, I think of how we are moving our body, and that is one in a yoga class and a yoga sequence, and that space. But also for me, it's very much about practicing what we learn on the mat, off the mat. So by that, for example, when I was taking a sequence through yesterday with in Tune Yoga, we were focused fully on standing through the full class, and it's not something that we necessarily do at a conscious level where we actually really fully engage our body when we're fully standing. And so by that I mean really connecting into the ground, engaging through the legs, engaging through the core and opening our heart center, opening our shoulders. So being much more present in our stance. So and when we're in that stance, we do feel quite grounded. And it just really does quite a difference to how we feel in ourselves, how we hold ourselves. We all know when we're holding our shoulders back, we're feeling more confident. So that's the energy that we're feeling. That's the energy that we're projecting as well. And so, yeah, it has a very strong ripple effect by some quite simple tweaks, if you like, to our movement or to our posture.
Now, Lisa, the quality of the call on Messenger, which we're using now, is pretty bad. What I'm going to do is just end this call, but call you straight back on your phone, okay? Because we'll get
Okay,
a bet
sure.
yeah we'll get a better sound for you. So I'm going to call you straight away. It was sounding a bit ropey, and the mobile phone doesn't sound much better, but we'll soldier on. Right, we've got
Sure.
up to in your with your work tonight. We've been seeing photos as you illustrating what you're talking about. Tell us about shadow work. What is that?
Yes, so shadow work is very much around connecting in with the darker parts, if you like, of what we're about or what we've experienced. And we're all on a journey, and through our life experience, there can be areas that we may have hidden, or we may have not really dealt with, or we're not feeling quite so good about, in a sense. And so by exploring the shadow, it really allows us to step more into the light. And so it's really about peeling back some of the layers and connecting into those areas that may have been pushed to the side or just not wanted to be dealt with. And so it's exploring those and actually really owning them, feeling it, and moving through it in a conscious and connected way, so that we can really step into our power and step into our light energy and connect more into a place of love and kindness for ourselves and for others.
So you have to accept the darkness and recognise it before you can move into the light.
Absolutely, that's a great summary. Yes, and there's a beautiful analogy, if you like, that it's only in darkness that the stars shine. So, I mean, at the time when we can be going through or experiencing tough times, or it can be really heavy, it can be really dark. And sometimes the gift or the learning does not come until later on. And it's only by really exploring that and by understanding it or looking for the gift in the moment or in that challenging time that we can really step into a lighter space and look for the learning.
And are you discovering this through yoga, or is it a different part of your teaching?
Very much a combination. So I personally have done committed to personal development, so I've experienced with a different modalities, if you like, through my journey. Certainly with yoga, with my practice with yoga, for me, the mind, the body, the heart, the soul are all connected. So if I'm moving my body consciously, it does have an effect at a much deeper level. So by that I mean, for example, a really one that's more common or commonly used is when we're working on our hip opener area. So it could be pigeon pose or a tree pose, a pose like that where we're really opening the hips. That can be an area where trauma is stored, and so emotion is stored in that area. And when we really lean into that area and open that area from a physical perspective, it can get down to the deeper level of the emotion that is stored there and actually release that emotion. So what I love doing when I'm working with clients one-on-one is quite often we'll go in into the body in a physical sense to allow the emotional, the deep storage, if you like, of the emotion that's sitting there to be released, and so that's how we can connect into that. At quite a deep level. So it's a real combination of a number of modalities, if you like. But for me, it just all connects and makes sense.
They've got to trust you and be open to you in order for this to work, haven't they?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, they do. Although, really, for me, I see, if you are teaching, or really, I see it as as we're guiding. So for me, it's very much about you connecting in with your own body. And this is what I love about this type of work, and this is why it does work where I do this type of work online as well, because first of all, so much of my philosophy or my approach is very much about you connecting in with your own body. So whilst you could have a different type of practitioner that is working hands-on with the body, and so where someone else is coming in and, touching or manipulating your body, which is quite common and definitely beneficial. This is all about you becoming your own guide, you becoming connected to your own body, you becoming really trusting of what you're feeling and what you're experiencing, and for you to understand it. So the work then becomes me effectively as a guide for you to sense your body, to feel what's going on at a physical level, and sense and feel what's going on at a deeper emotional level. And then that allows you to be able to work through different things as they crop up, or as different situations crop up as well. So again, whether that's on the mat or in a coaching session, that can then be applied in a more daily level.
Now you speak about the heart, or emotion rather. So how can people connect more with their heart and basically take notice of their intuition?
Yes, absolutely. So it is very much about tuning into the heart space, and to do that, one way to get there is through our breath and through mindfulness and meditation. So connecting in through our breath, it just sounds so simple, and yet it's something that we don't activate as often as we can. And that is very much about slowing the breath. So it's slowing the inhale, pausing, and slowing the exhale. Now, when we're doing that, we're connecting with the parasympathetic nervous system, and that is telling us when we're able to breathe at that much slower rate, we're telling our body that we're not being chased by a saber-toothed tiger. We're able to just calm down. We're able to just be in our body and connect with us. And that's the first pathway in, if you like, to really just sitting with ourselves, to feeling what's going on. And from that opens the pathway to more mindful practices, to meditation. So all of these different modalities or styles of or techniques are all allowing us to really connect in with what we're feeling. And for the busyness of life, or the stress of life, or the to-do list, all of those things just drop away for, even if it's 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it is, so that you can really connect in with how you are actually feeling without judging, just simply observing and sitting with that, and allowing yourself to ask more questions about what's going on for you.
Now, Lisa, if there are 15 hours in the day when you're not asleep, and I know that you've got a business to run as well as doing your teaching and your practice, how many hours a day do you make sure that you're free of a device?
Oh, that is a very good question.
Because you can't be in touch with yourself, and all this intuition and all the rest of it, if you're gawping at a screen.
Correct.
Because I think you can actually lose the sense of self in a big way. And I think one of the reasons that people need to come to you is because they're losing sense of self by being so distracted by what everybody else is doing.
Correct. Absolutely. And when we connect in with our physical presence, we connect in with our heart, we're much more present for ourselves and much more present for those around us. And when we're actually present for ourselves and those important people around us, we don't have the same desire or need to be checking in with what everyone else is doing, because you're living a life that you love from your heart, from your purpose, and you're sharing your time with those that you love. So to answer your question, I probably don't necessarily calculate it per hour, per day on what I'm not on a device. But what I do is I certainly prioritize my time to make sure that I am off devices as much as I can be. So for me, that is making sure I'm out in nature walking. For me, being at the beach is my grounding time, and certainly without devices, time with my children, And at home, there's times where I just love to actually sit and be looking at the view without actually anything. You don't always have to be doing something. Even, I'm quite happy to just sit and be and look at the view. I don't necessarily always need a book or something else. It is very much about being present in the moment. So, yeah.
Now, here's the irony, Lisa. When people pick up their device, how can they find you?
Yes. I know. And this is the challenge, that it is the balance between utilising technology and these platforms in a really wonderful, helpful way, yet being able to manage it so that we're not on it too often. So, yes. So in terms of where you can find me, so Facebook, I have a page, In Tune Yoga, Lisa Tregenza, and the tribe, which I love, which is a wonderful community of like-minded souls, is the In Tune Tribe. So there's those two places, and then in terms of website, it's lisatregenza.life.
Okay, when we republish these, this item, we'll include the links for you. So it just remains for me to say, Lisa Tregenza, thank you very much for joining us this evening here on After Dark.